Hola mis estudiantes. Our topic for today is going to be el presente, the present tense. We are going to focus on conjugations with our regular verbs as well as our stem changers. So let's do this. First of all, we need to make sure that we're comfortable with how we use the present tense in English. Now think about it. The present tense is something that's going on currently in this moment or in the very near future. The present. It's happening right now. So I speak to my students after school. Do I speak to my students after school? I am speaking to my students on Tuesday. Again, notice those are all things that are taking on and that are happening in the very present or in the very near present. So let's talk about regular verb endings. So we've got three types of verbs. We've got AR verbs, o, as, a, amos, ais, and an. We've got ER verbs, o, es, e, emos, eis, and en. And then we've got IR verbs, o, es, e, imos, is, and en. Notice the only difference in between ER and IR verbs are the nosotros and vosotros conjugations. So let's walk through how we conjugate in the present tense, what a conjugation looks like. So first we're going to drop that ending, that AR, ER, or IR, to make a verb stem. So for example, we've got our verb escribir, right? It means to write. The word itself, escribir, we call that the infinitive. Remember, and we know it's the infinitive because it has that AR, ER, or IR ending, and it does not have a subject. Escribir means to write. So we're going to drop that ending, and we are left with the verb stem. We're going to choose the correct ending that corresponds with the subject. In this case, let's use ella, let's use she as our subject, okay? So we know that that's going to be in the bottom left-hand conjugation box. And then finally, we're going to add the ending, that a, to our verb stem. So our final answer is going to be ella escribe, or she writes, she is writing, or does she write? Here are some examples. We're going to run through all of those. There we go. So notice our verb hablar is an AR verb. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, and hablan. Comer, we drop that ER ending and we've got our stem. And then we add our ER conjugation endings. Como, comes, come, comemos, coméis, comen. And then finally our IR endings, or IR verbs, vivir. Drop that IR, we've got the stem. And then yo vivo, tú vives, él, and usted vive. Nosotros vivimos, vosotros vivís, and ellos, ellas, and ustedes viven. So far, so good? Great. Alright, so here's an opportunity for you to stop and practice. So I've got 6 conjugations that I would like for you to do. Make sure you hit pause, and we will check your answers here shortly. Alright, here we go. Make sure that you're comfortable with what these phrases mean in English. We'll go over that in class. So, ella escucha, tú miras, nosotros leemos, ustedes comen, yo escribo, and vosotros vivís. Those are all conjugation practices in the present tense. Make sure that you write down any questions that you may have. So, next page, we're going to talk about stem changing verbs, okay? Now think about it. We just talked what a stem is. It's that part that's left once you drop that AR, ER, or IR ending. So the stems of the verbs are going to change. And the thing with stem changer verbs is that we have no way of knowing what they are other than to memorize them. So it's going to be very important as you're going over your notes that you memorize your vocabulary list, that you memorize what verbs are stem changers, because we have no other way of knowing other than just learning it. Okay, so here are steps to conjugation. First, we're going to drop that AR, ER, IR ending to make the verb stem. So we're going to work with our verb recordar for this activity. Recordar means to remember. So we dropped that AR. Then we are going to remove the vowel in the stem that's a stem changer. So for example, recordar is an O to UE stem changer. So in this case, we're going to drop that O. And then finally, we're going to add those stem changing vowel or vowels. Like I said, recordar is an O to UE stem changer, so we are going to add UE in place of the O. And then we're going to add the correct verb endings. In this case, we're going to conjugate in the yo form, so it'd be yo recuerdo. And then we're done. Yo recuerdo, I remember. Now, we do not have, a stem change does not occur in the nosotros nor the vosotros forms. They just conjugate like the regular verbs. And we refer to stem changing verbs in the present tense as boot verbs. Alright, because it kind of looks like a boot. You see it? Kinda. So stem change occurs in those 4 conjugations in the red, or inside the boot. So here are some examples. We're going to work with our verb querer, which means to love or to want. Querer is an E to IE stem changer. So that E changes to IE inside the boot. Got it? Great. Pedir means to ask for or to order. In this case, pedir is an E to IE, or excuse me, E to I stem changer. I totally knew that. And then there are stem changers, our conjugations. So yo pido, tú pides, él y usted pide, nosotros pedimos, vosotros pedís, ellos, ellas, and ustedes pidan. Again, notice those stem changes. And then we've got almorzar, which means to eat lunch, is another O to UE stem changer. So there's our new stem. And then there are our there are conjugations. Almuerzo, almuerzas, almuerza, almorzamos, no stem change outside of the boot. Almorzáis, again, no stem change outside of the boot. And then almuerzan, stem change inside the boot. Alright, so those are our 4 types of stem changers. Remember, we've got E to IE, E to I, O to UE, and U to UE. Oh, here we go. Here's our U to UE. Jugar, and it's the only type of verb that has a stem change. So juego, juegas, juega, jugamos, no stem change. Jugáis, no stem change. Juegan, stem change. Alright, so let's see how you do. Alright, I felt very generous. So the verbs that I give you, I even tell you what type of stem changer they are. I know, so nice. Alright, so go ahead and hit pause, and I want you to process through and write down those stem changing verbs, write those conjugations, and we'll check your answers here once you're done. Alright, here we go. Ella entiende, yo pienso, ustedes duermen, tú puedes, vosotros servís, no stem change outside of the boot, and nosotros repetimos, again, no stem change outside of the boot. Alright, so make sure that you write down any questions that you may have. You will see a list of common stem changers, so that'll be a nice reference for you. And we will practice in class. Adios!